Hi, so this video is on me repairing a broken Minolta lens. I had an accident where these three clips on the bayonet ring broke off. The camera fell and the lens just came away. Thankfully no damage to the body. I have managed to get this for spares version, which has this completely intact. I need to take it off by removing these 4 screws around the edge and the 2 screws holding on the electrics plate. There's a locator screw on the other side, the silver one, that I will not be taking out. So I'm just going to undo these 4 screws, taking my time, being very careful and very gentle with this, because this is one of my first serious attempts at repairing anything to do with my cameras. So the screws come out pretty easily, so I'm being very careful with them. I'm taking it slow, and I'm sorting them into a little organising tray out of shot so that I don't lose or misplace any, and desperately trying not to drop any down inside this lens. It takes a few seconds just to get these out. It's probably the quickest part of the whole operation. So once those 4 are out, I'm going to then take the 2 off that are holding down the connector plate. These are a little bit more stubborn, and as you can see, I'm keeping my thumb in place until I get the first one out, just to make sure that it's not going to run away from me and end up down inside this lens. I'm a little bit more confident with the second one, so I'm just taking that very slow towards the end. Away it comes. So that's us got all 6 screws out, the 2 here, the 4 round the edge, and you do not touch that. Okay, do not touch that locator screw. So now I'm going to try and just lift this gently and very slowly, and being very careful just to make sure it's free. You will hear the iris spring reset itself. Don't worry about that, that's quite easily sorted later on. And then it's just trying to get this plate loose from the rest of the bayonet. It can be a little sticky, so be very, very gentle with it. I'm using a couple of different tools here to just try and see if I can get it loosened up a little bit. As you can see, I'm just kind of freeing it up very slowly, very gently, because the last thing you want to do is damage any of these connections. Just going to actually grab this and pull it up a little bit, so make sure it's free, and then I'm going to get the tweezers and I'm just going to angle it slightly, because the trick here is you want to try and get it flat, and you're going to have to lift the bayonet ring at the same time as trying to pull that little plate back a little bit and then get one end of it down through the slot. So you have to turn things very gently, being very careful the whole time here. And if I get it just right, there we go. That's it starting to go in now. And once that's free, you will see the spring for the iris pop in. Now, what I should have done here is adjust the focal length so that the lens was actually sitting high enough that that spring wouldn't have popped round. It would have sat back like that. You can see that's just the iris control. You can hopefully see the iris moving. That's the connector plate. Now I'm just going to move this off to the side because this is the good one. And here's the damaged original one. I don't know why I'm turning that lens cap, it's just a wee bit sticky. It's not catching on anything. So I'm just going to undo this. Same procedures I've just done before, so I've sped this up a little bit. And you can see that one came away a little bit easier. With the clip being broken, it was easier to get the plate up. So now I have to try and get that on in the same position. As you can see, the whole bayonet part for this lens is quite big. So what I need to do here is try and get this plate back through first. And the way I've done this is I've just got a piece of thread and I'm just going to get it through one of the screw holes. Once you manage to do that, you want to just twist your thread off and then feed it through the slot in the bayonet ring where that plate needs to come through. Now, as I said before, I could have made life easier if I'd adjusted the lens so that that was sticking above, because as you've seen, I just popped the spring off. So A few seconds later I used the tweezers to get that spring back on, everything's good, and I'm just going to gently push the ring down as I very carefully pull. Now that was such a delicate operation, I had to do it slightly out of shot. As I say, I could have made life easier for myself at this point, but a little bit of gentle work, be patient with it, don't try and force it, and you'll get it in place. Now when you're pushing this back down, you want to make sure you've got the iris clip popping through before you twist it round and push it down so that the locator pin is back in place. With that back in place, you can start screwing things down. Now, I only screwed things down a little bit to start with, just to get them in place and get them located, and then I went back round and tightened them all up once I was happy with the position, and that was it. I then stuck it on the front of the camera, turned it on, as you've seen it activated, so all the electronics are working, and I've gave it a good test run and everything's working perfect with it now. So thank you for watching the video, hope you enjoyed.